So here we go, the first A final. Lee Martin makes a great start. Jorn Nyman in second, Mark Reinhard third. The car's running modest grid order through these first few corners. Mark Reinhard gets right up close to Jorn going through the first chicane. But Lee at the front of the field starting to pull away already on this opening lap. Across the tabletop for the first time, you can see how high the cars can jump through that tabletop jump. Jorn getting right up onto Lee's bumper as they come down the straight for the first time. So it's Lee Martin leading from Jorn, Mark Reinhard running third and Hupo in fourth place. Jorn getting as close as he can to Lee as they come across the jumps in the middle of the track again. Behind them you can see you've got Mark Reinhard and Hupo still in contention at this point of the race. Across the tabletop jump they go. Jorn trying everything he can to force Lee into a mistake, make him run wide on one of the corners, make a mistake going over one of the jumps, but Lee holds it all together down the straight again through the infield section. Meanwhile, behind Lee, you can see that Hupo has caught right up to Jorn now. Mark Reinhard hanging in there as well. So it's now a race for second place between Jorn and Hupo. Through the jumps in the middle of the track they go. Jorn very careful coming out of the jumps, Hupo as well, so that gives Jorn a little bit of breathing space going across the tabletop. But Lee out in front, he's got loads of clear track around him. He's starting to drive really safe at this point. He knows he just needs to keep it on the track to win this first A final at this early stage of the race. He's got that much of a lead already. Meanwhile, behind Lee, Mark Reinhard and Hupo are racing nose to tail for third place. You can see the passes they make coming. Hupo tries to make coming down this front straight. He can't make anything stick. So Mark Reinhard running in that third spot. Hupo in the fourth. In front of them, Jorn Nyman is still in second place, and then Mark makes a mistake coming out of the jumps, puts Hupo back up into third place. So they get over the tabletop jump. Jorn is trying to hunt down Lee, but he can't do anything about him. Lee well clear at the moment. You can see the gap he's got over Jorn. Jorn is trying everything he can, trying to close that gap down. He knows this is the last lap, but it's all about Lee Martin. Lee coming off that banked corner, through the end of the track and onto the front straightaway. This is going to be the first A final win for Lee in four-wheel drive. Jorn finishes in second place. So here we go, the second A final. Of course, if Lee Martin can win this one, he will be double European champion. It's a good clean start up front. The first 3-4 cars getting round the chicane cleanly for the first time. They go across the jumps in the middle of the track, but then Lee makes a mistake coming off the jumps. Jorn gets caught up in that, which allows Mark Reinhard up into second place. Jorn drops down to third. So we've got Lee out in front, Mark in second, and then he gets caught on a pipe along with Jorn as well, and that puts Paul Bradby up into the third spot. So Mark and Paul and Jorn racing for second place at the time, but Lee out in front already. He's starting to check out on the whole field and make this look ridiculously easy. Mark and Jorn having a fantastic battle for second place, going through the chicane, across the jumps in the middle of the track, and then Mark makes a small mistake coming off the jump, so Jorn up into that second position. Across the tabletop in the middle of the track, he's now got set about catching Lee Martin. Meanwhile, Neil Craig now up into that third position, but Neil's car not looking great coming off the end of the straight. That gives Hupo a fantastic run onto Neil, trying to force another mistake from Neil, trying to get past him, going across the jumps through the middle of the track. Round onto the tabletop they come. Hupo, then Neil, and then Peter Pinish behind. Hupo, Neil, Peter really close coming through the banked corner, and Mark Reinhard is now racing Peter Pinish for fourth place. So Mark Reinhard's got past Neil Craig. This is the battle for fourth place on the track. Mark Reinhard trying everything he can. He's an on-road world champion, trying to get past Peter. Peter, the off-road specialist, going across the jumps in the middle of the track they go. Mark trying to get past, but Lee Martin out in front. You can see the gap already he's got to second place driver. Hupo Honegal down the front straight. Lee Martin miles clear in the lead. Lee looking really good to make this 2 European Championships in a week. You can see the gap he's got on second place driver. Jorn is right behind him. Jorn makes a mistake coming off the front straightaway, drops him back a bit, which gives Lee even more breathing space. Across the tabletop jump in the middle of the track. Coming up to the banked corner end of the track, this is going to be 2 European Championships for Lee Martin. Down the front straightaway, Lee Martin wins A-Main leg number 2, and with the four-wheel drive 2010 European Championship. Jorn finishes second place, Hupo finishes third. Okay, so here we go with the third A final. Of course, Lee Martin already won this one, so it's Jorn Nyman who is effectively on the pole position and gets a good start. Mark Reinhard running in second place, coming through the chicane for the first time. And then Mark makes a great move coming off the jump to get inside Jorn and take the lead. So Mark Reinhard now out in front, Jorn running in that second position. They come up onto the Banks corner for the first time. Jorn still right on Mark's tail, giving him loads of pressure coming down the straightaway at the front. But then Jorn clips the corner coming off the end of the straight. So that puts Paul Bradby up into second place. So it's now Reinhard from Bradby. We've got the first 5 cars really close together coming through the chicane in the back section of the track. It's Mark from Paul and then Jorn. And then Paul makes a big mistake coming over the jumps, as does Jorn. So that gives Mark loads of breathing space. You can see how much gap he's got as he goes across the tabletop. So Jorn running in second place, and it's Victor Wilk now in third. Victor Wilk in the third position, hunting down Jorn, trying to pressure him into mistake, get some more points off him to help his teammate Mark Reinhard out. You can see Mark just in the, going around the corner there. Coming over to the jumps that Jorn gets past Mark that time going across the jump. So Jorn now takes over the race lead. Mark running in second place. The pair of them really close still on the track. Both giving each other plenty of pressure, knowing if they make any mistakes, the other one will be through into the lead. But at the moment it's Jorn out in front. They come round the banked corner once again. But then Jorn clips the corner coming onto the straight. So that puts Mark back in front and Victor running in second place. And then there's carnage behind coming through the first few corners. The 4 cars really close together. Jorn's dropped down to the third place. See Hupo up into second now, so Hupo running second, but then clips the corner. He takes out Jorn, so that puts Hupo still in second, Paul Bradby in third, and Victor fourth. Jorn in fifth, but then clips the jump, and in fact Jorn has broken his car and is out of the race. 5 minutes is up. Hupo has crossed the line, finishing second place, so Mark Reinhard is the only person now on the track still running on time, so he's taking it nice and slow up this big tabletop jump. To the amusement of the crowd, he comes round the banked corner at the end of the track, onto the front straight, down the front straight to win the third A final and move him up to third overall in the standings. Let's go over to the press conference now and hear from the top 3 finishing drivers.
The week's been fantastic from word go. Everything's felt good, haven't had to change much. The speedos from Speed Passion Motors have been amazing. The cars from Tamiya have been unbelievable. So I couldn't ask for anything more.
Jorn, second place in qualifying, second place in the finals. The first couple of finals you got close to challenging Lee for the victory, but he was that bit too far in front.
Yeah, I pushed very hard, but impossible to overtake him. I'm very happy. Second place, very good. And my mechanics make the car perfect.
I'm pretty happy with third place, starting third, finishing third. It's pretty good for me.
And talk us through that last final, which you eventually managed to win after an awful lot of position change and some great racing we saw there.
Yeah, I knew I need to be second. Jorn could have won the final. I finished second just in front of Hupo, just to finish third overall. So I passed Jorn, I think, in the first lap, and then I was struggling on the triple-double once, so I was second, but I still knew if I keep this pace I can finish third overall. So yeah, in the end it got pretty good, so I made no big mistakes and just kind of keep it under control.
Yeah, my team is amazing. Like Mark and Victor and me are good friends, and Tony and Rossi and Pumpy will help us out. It's just amazing.